Hi there, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make a fascinator base without molding, and we're going to be using Mako. Now what you see on the base is a Mako that I've cut to size using this fascinator mold. This is a heart block or a mold, but it's a small size, so I'm using it to get the circle that I want. So I've traced the circle like so. The next thing I'm going to do is use my ruler to get the midpoint. Can you see what I'm doing? I folded it into two because I want to get my midpoint. Now you can do this with any size of your heart block. Even if you don't have a heart block, you can take the size of a circle that you want, the size of the heart, and you use whatever it is. It could be a plate and trace the circle like so. And then you find the midpoint just the way I'm doing. So now I'm using the ruler to trace my midpoint like so. Now this is another way to get lower cost when molding. So I've gotten the midpoint as it is. The next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the excess to get my circle shape all the way around like so. As I was saying, this would, when you mold it, you have to get the material you're using to mold, you have to get your stiffener and then your heart block. So of course that is more expensive to produce a fascinator like that. So in case you have a client whose budget is low, you can work with such to accomplish what you want to do. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is give it a cut from there all the way to the midpoint like so. So now that I've gotten it, I'm going to be covering it like this. Can you see? The more you pass it, cross it, the more it would have a dip inside. So depending on how you want the height inside to be to pop up, that's the way you will bend. I don't need it to pop up so much because I'm going to use this fascinator base on a turban. So you're going to put your glue underneath on one side, and on the other side you're going to put it on top. I'm making use of Everstick gum here. Now Everstick is the glue that is commonly used by shoemakers. Okay, this is a brush that I'm using, but because of too much glue it has glued together, so it's almost like a stick, but it still functions properly well. So I'm putting my glue, as I told you, underneath like so, and then I'm going to put, for the other one, I will put it on top. Okay, so once I'm done, I would cross it to get the curve that I want, to get the height that I want. Do you understand? Okay, so that is it. Now there's a point that I noticed which I think you should take note of, because that's what I'm going to do next time. Next time I would cover it up first before, as in with the material I want to use, before I curve it like this. So probably I will send you that video once I do that, because it enables the curve to stay. While I was gluing it, after I did that, it flattened it a bit, but I didn't mind because, as I said, I'm using the turban on a fascinator. I'm using the fascinator base on a turban, so that was fine. So before you do your cutting, cover it up like you see the way I'm going to cover it now. So you cover it first before you do the cutting to give your Mako the shape that it will form. So now I'm tracing out again using my heart block. Now, as I said, you can use any circular object to do that. Just get the circular object that has the size of the circle, the circumference of the circle that you want to make use of. Okay, so I'm checking it out like so. Okay, to ensure that it's going to cover it up well. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it all the way around. So keep watching and learning. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is use your Everstick gum, and you're going to be rubbing it all around the inside of the fascinator base. Now the inside, that's the underneath, is the part that gives you a dip. That's the part that would be on the head. So rubbing it up like that. Keep watching and learning. Once that's done, you take your material that you have cut out and you're going to place inside like so. Okay, and ensure you spread it so it's smooth. and looking neat. Then if there's any excess, like you can see, you just take your scissors and trim it off neatly. Now you want to trace it again using the circular object that you have, the size of circle you want, and then you use your scissors again and cut. But before then, you're going to measure 2 inches away. You can make it 1 inch. I think next time I'm going to make it 1 inch and not 2 inch. 2 inch was kind of a bit too much finally. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it to go so in like that into the fascinator base. So next time I'm gonna make it, I think it's 1 inch I used. Yes, 1 inch was what I used. Next time I will use 0.5, not 1 inch. Okay, so well, I guess you try and see which one you would prefer. I would prefer to have it not go too deep in and then use my bias at the edges. So okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do that all the way around. Keep watching and learning. Okay, so it's time to cut all the way around, following the excess that you put out. You're going to know why you did that very soon. Keep watching and learning. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put my glue just at the top. Now if you're using 0.5 inch, you have to reduce the amount of glue you used. It might be a good practice to do another tracing on top of the Mako so that you're sure of where you're putting the glue, that you don't put it beyond the mark. So the next thing you want to do is notch. Remember when you're making your hat, how you notch the hat's brim. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm notching it all the way around. Now this is to enable you to be able to have a smooth finishing at the top part and even also behind. So the next thing I'm doing, I'm going to be grabbing it and putting on top of the glue like so. So I'm going to be doing it all the way around. Keep watching and learning. So once you're done with that, what you want to do is check to see if there is any part that didn't glue, kind of like an excess, and you take your razor blade and neatly cut them out all the way around. Keep watching and learning. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far. It's coming to shape, isn't it? Alright, so the next thing I did was to get my Ankara bias. So you make a bias with your material, or you can use normal bias matching color. This cloth that was given to me by a client to use to make the turbanator for her, and she used it to make a cloth, and the tailor had already sewn that part like so, which made it very easy. So I just cut it very close to where it was sewn so that it's there's no what do you call it, loose ends per se. So I had my bias already. I didn't need to start sewing a new bias to make for it or to get normal bias. I made everything Ankara. So that's me gluing it at the edge to cover the notching, the part that you notched and flap. I'm making use of uhu gum to do it all the way around. So you keep watching and learning. And if you're gaining value so far, please do give me a thumbs up. And that's how I made this Fascinator base with the Mako. So if you gain value from this video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, do click that subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. And then check out this next video.